Hey, it's Bruce with weedersdigest.com. This is our video blog, or we call it a vlog. And one of the common questions that we get and common areas that we get to get involved in on a consulting basis is when to use herbicides and when not to use herbicides, and are they dangerous? And you know, herbicides, they have a place. They have a place in aquatic management. However, as a lakeshore owner, and a place where I like to recreate and allow my kids to recreate, it's actually herbicides being somewhat anti-herbicide is the reason why I started the Weeder's Digest. And here's where it really comes back to. This is a sign that was placed on my shoreline when the Lake Association, which I greatly support, had this posting put on my shoreline telling me how to and how not to use my shoreline right after they had put the herbicides into the water. So I think you'll get the gist of what I'm talking about here. So this notice, big bold orange, warning sign, it says here's all the things that as a result of the herbicides that they put into. This is a city lake, a swimming lake, 58 homes all the way around. So it's designed for the purpose of recreation, of course. But do not drink the water. Do not use any water from it for any domesticated purposes. Do not irrigate food or crops using the water after a treatment from the herbicides. Obviously, it's got poisons in it. Do not irrigate ornamental shrubs. Do not irrigate turf. Do not water your livestock. So it says do not water livestock from this water for a period of time. However, at the very top of it, there are no restrictions against swimming. So in other words, using this particular herbicide, which is a common herbicide, it's okay to go swimming, but don't let your cattle drink from the water. When we moved into our house on the lake, my daughters were at I think 10 and 12 years old. When I saw this sign, I knew that there had to be other ways to manage my shoreline without the use of potentially damaging herbicides. In the first, 7 or 8 years of the Weeder's Digest, I did everything I could to find ways to manage a lake shore, manage a pond, whatever it might be, without the use of herbicides. Over time, I've realized that when herbicides are used correctly, they become necessary in some lakes. Now, we sell product all around the world, and every once in a while, somebody will tell me how herbicides should never be used. And there are some lakes, in very pristine lakes that really don't have aquatic weed or invasive issues. And you know what? A few weeds, whatever you want to call them, submerged or emerged vegetation, whether you want to call it a weed or not, some of them are good. Some of them are good for fishing, but a lot of lakes, and they're good for oxygen in the lake. But there's a lot of lakes that are completely choked out. They're so choked out that fish can't spawn because of the decomposition of those weeds at the end of the season when they turn to fall to the bottom, turn to another layer of muck. That layer of muck reduces the ability for spawning, causes more fertilizer for the vegetation to grow. And so for those reasons, there are some applications where a herbicide may be necessary. But keep in mind that you are putting a poison into the water. Now, in the state of Minnesota, we have a very active Department of Natural Resources. You might say, now, why would they do that? Why would they allow herbicides, a poison, to be put in the water? Well, the DNR approves a lot of herbicides, and they have to use it in some of their own as well. Now, there's other ways to treat. Old days, everybody used what was called, kind of a algicide, really, that they were putting. It was copper sulfate. Copper sulfate is still used today. It's used for swimmer's itch. Should have brought in a sample here today into my office. We have a swimmer's itch cream that you can put on, but the copper sulfate is a potentially very dangerous type of product. As a matter of fact, we can't even ship it because UPS, FedEx, they're too concerned that if that product ever spilled, it becomes actually toxic to their trucks and they have to go through a decontamination process. Yet at the same time, almost, I can't say this with 100% confidence, but in almost every case when you hear that a beach has been closed for E. coli or swimmer's itch, there's a beach probably about 4 miles from our office here, that's constantly, or that is occasionally, I better say occasionally, closed each season for swimmer's itch. And, magically, that seems to open 3 or 4 days later after it's closed. The way that happens is it is pumped full of copper sulfate. And so, it's all around us. I mean, you could say I would never allow my kids to swim in a lake that has poisons put into it, yet at the same time, in a lot of lakes, if people are swimming and people are using it, there's a lot of lakes that are managed almost exclusively with herbicides. And so at the Weeder's Digest, all of our different devices, all of our different products are meant to be much more environmentally friendly. Now, sometimes we'll get some people that think differently about that. They think that they would rather put in, even our Department of Natural Resources, the DNR here in Minnesota, somehow, I don't know how, would rather see a herbicide used than our lake groomer that literally controls a specific area and get rid of the weeds and the muck in a very specific area. They'd rather give somebody a permit to put in hydrothol 191, which is a product that we sell here. I mean, we make it available to our customers. However, if you ask me, I would rather use a mechanical device that I can control a specific amount of area in my shoreline, protect my kids and guests that come over and swim, as opposed to pouring in a herbicide that will drift, that will float, that will impact larger areas. And, I hope that what I'm saying to you makes sense, that mechanical means are much more effective for an isolated area. But if you're going to treat out in a channel in a big part of the lake and you need a herbicide, there's options. Here at the Weeder's Digest, we definitely can support both of those areas. We do have a herbicide specialist on our staff, and so if that's the way you choose to go or you've been given a recommendation, can certainly help you out as well. So this is a longer blog post on our video vlog than I anticipated, but it's an important one, and I'd love it if you'd stop by, give us a call, check out our Facebook page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And happy to talk about more issues. Give us a call at the Weeder's Digest and weedersdigest.com. Thank you.